Hi, you're with Chandeep at Goodly once again. In this video, we're going to speak about that how can you combine data or consolidate data from multiple sheets into a single sheet. So we have multiple sheets here. Thankfully, as of now, the data on all the sheets is of the same structure, meaning the columns are the same, the order of the column is the same. So let's just take a look at the data that we have. So right here we have the first column as date, and second column as sales rep, customer amount, profit, and the region. And all the sheets have the same data, but the only difference being that the year is different. So here we have 2007, here we have 2006. Now what I want to do is I want to combine the data into a single sheet coming from all the sheets. And I also want to build an automation where if I add more sheets or delete any particular sheet, the consolidation should be of only the sheets which are actually visible right here. So let me just create a new sheet. Let's just call this sheet as consolidated data, right? And let's just keep it on the side. Now over here, I want to bring the data together from all the sheets. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Power Query for that. Let's just save the Excel file. So Control S to save it. And then let's just go over to data and I'll say get data from file from a workbook. The name of the current file is sales data. So I'm just going to pick up sales data from my desktop, which is right here. Now, as soon as I pick up the sales data Excel file, which is the file that I'm working in, it shows me the names of all the sheets that I have in the current Excel file, along with where that I want to have all the data. Now, obviously, I can choose to have one sheet selected or two sheets selected. I can even go for multiple items being selected. But the problem is that the sheet would not auto select itself if you add another sheet. So let's just go ahead and click on the folder here, which selects all the sheets that are there in the Excel file. And let's click on transform data. Power Query window opens up. In the Power Query window, what I have is the name of the sheet, the data inside of that sheet in a table column, and some other columns describing what we have. Now, the first filter that I'd like to apply here is to the kind column, meaning when you're working with an Excel file which has multiple tables, named ranges, and stuff like that, in the kind column, what you will see is that you'll have a sheet here, you will have a defined name here, and you will have a table here. So since I want to pick up the data from only the sheet, I'm just going to say that, hey, why don't you just make sure that I'm picking up the data from the sheet. So text filters equals to sheet actually. So this is going to ensure that currently the data for only sheets is being showed up. Since I only have sheets here, so that's all good. Now the other column that we have here is hidden. In case your sheet is hidden, this flag is going to be true, and in case you want to take off the sheets from consolidation of the sheets which are hidden, you can just filter out the trues, and only sheets which are not hidden are going to be consolidated. Now let's say, for example, let's just add some twist here along with the data that we have it under every sheet. I also want to know that which sheet is this coming from. That means I'd like to have the sheet name along. So let me just click on the side of the table and I can see the preview of the data. So along with the date column, the sales rep column, and all these columns, I want another column which describes the name of the sheet. That's what I want. Plus the other problem that we have currently is that the first row here is actually the data point, but this should not be the data, this should actually be the header. So column 1 should be replaced with date and column 2 should be replaced with sales rep. We can definitely expand it and promote the headers later, but let's just do it with the formula right away. So I'm just going to add a column here and let's just call it a custom column, and using a small formula I'm going to promote the headers. So I'm going to say table dot promote headers, make sure the P and H are capital, and I'm going to say that that we have the table in the data column and click on OK. So another custom column gets created with table once again, and if I just click on the white space next to the table, I will see that the headers have been promoted for all these tables that we have it here. That's great. Now we need actually this column and we need the name column. So let's just keep these two columns, right click and say remove other columns, and we are just now left with the name column, which is the name of the sheet, and the custom column. Now if you take a look at the last sheet, which is consolidated data, which is the sheet itself, it doesn't have any data because that's where I'm going to combine the data. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off my filter, right? So I'm going to come to the name column and I'm going to say that always check out this consolidated data because that's where I'm combining the data. So I'm going to say OK, and now I have all the names and the tables. Let's just expand this. So click on expand, uncheck this, click on load more in case there are any other columns. Let's say OK, and we have all the data being combined here. Now just a few things, the date should be represented as a date data type. So I'm just going to click on ABC123, which is any, and convert that to a date data type, and this is all good. Now let's just load the data back. So I'm going to come to home, say close and load 2, and I'm going to load the data in the current worksheet. In the existing worksheet, I'm going to close and load the data, and let's just see what we have. Do we have everything? I think we have everything. Now the beauty about this is, let's say for example, if I happen to change the name of the sheet, for some reason I'm just giving this my name, so Chandeep, CHANDEEP, press enter, again save the file, make sure, and then come on consolidated data, right click and hit a refresh. Now when I refresh, this first sheet should be as my name. Even if I, let's say, replicate the sheet and I say Chandeep 2, which let's just make it as the first sheet right here, and let's just say that has 2010 data, not 2009 data. So I'm just gonna change the data, add 365 days to that, drag that column and replace that column with this column, and delete this column. Now this is 2010 data in Chandeep 2 sheet. I'm gonna save the file once again, come to consolidated data and hit a refresh. Let's see what happens. And absolutely right, we have 2010 data. So this is working all good, all fine. Well, that's how you combine data from multiple sheets into a single Excel sheet. If you have any questions around this, please feel free to ping me, drop a comment in the blog post, or if you're watching this on YouTube, drop a comment on YouTube. I'll be more than happy to help you out. Thanks for watching this, and you take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.